Hi, I'm Mark Lawson, president of MorningStar Music Publishers, and we are joined today by Karen Marrolli to discuss her new Christmas work. We are very excited to be publishing this new Christmas work, which is entitled Light of Peace, and it's a collection of Celtic carols for Christmas. So, Karen, I know that this is the first multi-movement work that we've published of yours. Can you give us an overview about the work and the instrumentation?
Mhm. Well, it's a piece that it started off as I thought maybe I could write a Celtic anthem for Christmas. And then it just sort of escalated very quickly and became all of these different little pieces where I tried to use traditional tunes, some of them that you might have heard in a hymnal and some that you might have heard in a bar, and put them together with new texts that talk about not only the fact that we've celebrated this birth at Christmas, but then what does that spur us to do in the world, and how does that have us go forth and be in the world, kind of a thing. So, well, they'll tend to be overlapping tunes where there'll be the Star of the County Down tune that you hear a lot in hymns. But also overlapping it with a reel like Cooley's reel or something like that that Celtic session musicians would know, but might be new and exciting to churches. So that's kind of the way that that was constructed. And there are six different pieces in this set, all that could be used either independently as an anthem or that could be spun out into a kind of a lessons and carols or a larger cantata type service, if that is something that you're looking for. The instrumentation is piano, choir, SATB, obviously, and then it uses a pairing of violin and flute, which gives it that really kind of Celtic sound. Also, it's not a huge instrumentation for a church to kind of have to deal with if they're looking to do something that's a little more zhuzhed up, but not necessarily wanting to have the full orchestra. You can also use a percussion instrument. You don't have to use a hand drum or bodhrán or anything like that. But if you do, it really kind of adds to the flavor of it. So I would, highly recommend it if you can.
Yes, I think one of the really wonderful things about it is the flexibility because you could use it as a collection of Celtic carols, or you could make it into a complete service. So right now, I think it probably stands at about 25 minutes of music, and then it could be added with carols and with readings and expanded to probably 40 minutes, but very flexible. Tell me how you would go about possibly expanding it.
Mhm. So when this was originally first done, I did do it as a full lessons and carols service. And you can incorporate all of the traditional readings, or if you wanted to go a different route with maybe readings from Celtic spirituality or something like that, and comment on the traditional Christmas story, I think that would work as well. You can intersperse the normal hymns that you would have, like "O Come All Ye Faithful" was what I started with at the beginning, and having those interspersed between the pieces. I also note in the composer's note in the piece, I believe, that two of the pieces, Peace on Earth and the Gloria, were actually originally separate and could be separated if you wanted to just use the Gloria part after the angels singing glory to God and peace to everyone on earth and all of that kind of stuff. So that is meant to either be, you can smash it together and make it a full healthy anthem or part of a service, or you can separate those two parts. So that's another thing that you could kind of play with. But really just incorporating your normal carols that you know are required by law that you have to sing. Silent Night's going to come toward the end, and all of that kind of stuff. And interspersing it throughout really works really well.
Yeah, yeah, that is great. So, how did you fall in love with Celtic style?
I think part of it's in my DNA. So I do have that kind of heritage background. I started pretty early on in my musicking, if that's a word, kind of interfacing with Celtic groups of various persuasions. When I was in Charleston, a gentleman that I worked with by the name of Robert Taylor, who was previously the director of choral activities at the College of Charleston, he runs the Taylor Festival Group, which is what it does is it shows that classical music and Celtic music both very high elevations, both can use the same technique. His wife played in a group called the Hungry Monks, and she's a great classical but also Celtic fiddle player. And they were kind of a Celtic folk thing that went out and played as part of this festival. Also encountered different groups. A Celtic rock group called Emerald Rose that was modeled on Silly Wizard. But that's how I came to learn all of these tunes that are being peppered throughout the thing, either in the fiddle as an accompaniment, mostly in the fiddle and the flute as accompaniments and counterparts to the more traditional Christmas tunes that you're kind of singing along to. So just through my experience, I've come into contact with these groups and it's become a part of my musical consciousness, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew Culleton and the singers recorded this recently for our demo, and the recording is really wonderful. I encourage people to take a listen. But I also would say that the violinist plays it with such feel for the tradition that it's something that people doing this might even want to share with the different violinists so that they understand a little more about the character of the pieces if they don't know Celtic music as much. But it should be delightful for the violinist as well as for the choir. I
Oh,
think
that's
it's
great. Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of background about this. And we're anxious to see this out into the world. We think people will enjoy it and appreciate all of your good work on this.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited about it. I really love this piece. So I'm glad that people are going to get to experience it. Yeah.
Good. Well, we hope that you'll check it out on the website. So thank you for listening.
Bye.